Oh. Sarvadharmasthapakatvam sarvadharmaswarupakaha acharyanam mahacharyo Ramakrishnaya te namaha. O establisher of all the faiths, embodiment of all the religions, the greatest teacher among all teachers, O Sri Ramakrishna, my salutations to you. Our teacher Sri Ramakrishna is teaching us that how a hopeless situation can be turned into a hopeful one. The hopeless situation where the householders, they get grossly entangled in worldliness. For them there is no scope. For them there is no liberation. For them there is no mukti, nirvana. These householders, Sri Ramakrishna compares them with the silkworms who create the cocoon around themselves and one day die there itself. Although they can escape, but no, they have created that cocoon and they want to die there itself. Or Sri Ramakrishna gives the example of fish who merrily they enter the passage created by Mahamaya and get trapped into the net of the fisherman, never to come back again. They are unawares. They are not aware that they have been caught in the net. And they think this is the life. Oh yes, wonderful, jolly life. But where is wonder? Where is the joy? Where is the happiness? Where is the pleasure in that life? It is filled with the pairs of opposites. The joy with sorrow, pleasure with pain, happiness with unhappiness. And there is whole lot of misery, whole lot of misfortune, whole lot of reasons to cry for. They are unaware that they are trapped. Or Sri Ramakrishna gives the example of grains. The grains who come under the pressure of the two stones of the millstones. The moment these stones come between the two stones, they get crushed. But Sri Ramakrishna says, a few grains, smart enough, intelligent enough, they don't come between the millstones. They jump onto the peg of the millstones, just at the extreme corner, and they don't get crushed. They just leave like that only. They just escape the process of crushing between the millstones. And then Sri Ramakrishna says that this is the way that all those one or two silkworms from among the millions, one or two fish from among the millions, or one or two grains from among the millions, they save themselves from getting destroyed. They save themselves from getting entrapped. And then Sri Ramakrishna sang that beautiful song. The song signifying that the boat, my boat is getting sunk. My boat is getting destroyed. The wind is not favorable. Waters are not favorable. The oarsman, the mind, is clumsiest of the guys. He doesn't know where to go. He doesn't know how to lead the boat to safety. No, he is just playing his own tricks. The mind doesn't know. And what to talk about the 6 oarsmen who are supposed to guide me. They are the 6 passions. They are worst of their kind. They are hell-bent upon destroying me. That is the condition. My rudder is shattered. The sail is tattered. How can this boat survive now, mother? This boat is going to sink. And then, towards the end of that song, the singer says that there is only one hope remaining now. And he says that here in the waves I will swim. In this torrent waves, in this the terrific waves, in this destroying waves, I will swim. Swim doing what? Swim, O mother, clinging to the raft of thy name. I will cling to the raft of thy name and I will just swim on these waves. That is what is going to save me from this destruction. That is what is going to save me from getting crushed, from getting tattered, from getting destroyed. thy name, O mother, that is going to save me. And therefore Sri Ramakrishna said that take refuge in the name. Take refuge in the Lord, in the mother. Have deep devotion. Develop love for the Lord. These are the things that are going to get us freed from this entanglement. So that is the hope Sri Ramakrishna had finally given to the devotees who had assembled that day. One devotee, one person by name Mr. Bishas, who had a very good life at one point of time. He was a wealthy person, a person of the high stature. He had lost everything. He had squandered everything under leading immoral life. Under his sways of lust and greed, he has destroyed everything that he had at one point of time. And he had come to a condition that he was now not taking care of his wife and children also. And this is the thing which Sri Ramakrishna hated the most among the householders. Squandering everything that they have on all those useless the passions, and then not taking care of their family. Sri Ramakrishna says, as a householder, you have your debts to pay. You have your debts towards God. You have debts towards saints and holy men. You have debts towards your ancestors. You have debts to pay for your family, for the wife, for children. How can you just run away? How can you neglect your duty? That is not what you are supposed to do. Take care of your family. And when somebody pointed out that this Mr. Bishwas, he's trying to get back to the holy company, Sri Ramakrishna says, for people like him, it is extremely difficult now. It is extremely difficult. And then he gave the example of the Kamandalu, the water pot of the monks. They carried with them to all the four most famous pilgrimage centers. And still that water pot, which is made of bitter gourd, it remains bitter. If you cut open that water pot and eat it, it is nothing but bitter gourd. Bitter, bitter, bitter. So Sri Ramakrishna says it is extremely difficult for such people even to get changed just by coming to the holy company. And then Sri Ramakrishna said that such people at times, they get into the holy company just for the sake of maybe smoking hemp. Now, normally these, monks who are traveling, ascetics, they have this habit of smoking hemp. So there will be people, the ordinary householder people, who will be surrounding them with the hope of, let me also get a chance to smoke the hemp. With that thing, and people think, oh, this person is in the midst of holy people, holy company. He must have got some knowledge. He must have got some devotion. He must have got something to get himself freed. In fact, they are unfortunately further getting entrapped. So Sri Ramakrishna says his condition is like that of a Kamandalu of the monk. But then Sri Ramakrishna says, hold on to the raft of the mother's name. That is the only thing that is going to save. So that was some beautiful teaching that Sri Ramakrishna gave. And then the gathering that day dispersed. Everyone went. And now today what we are going to read about is Sri Ramakrishna going to attend Jagadhatri Puja at Surendra Mitra's house. Now, before that, on the way, also stayed Manomohan Mitra, another great devotee, a very simple devotee of Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna loved him so much. In fact, at one point of time, there was some kind of ego issue between Manomohan and Sri Ramakrishna, and Manomohan in the spate of some arrogance, he had stopped going to Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna waited. And one day Sri Ramakrishna came to his house. And so much repentant Manomohan was. What a great mistake I have done. I have been avoiding him for my foolishness. Gross mistake I have done. And then again the father and the child, they got reconciled. The teacher and the disciple, they got reconciled. So this time today, now on 19th of November 1882, Sri Ramakrishna has come to Manomohan's house. In a way, Manomohan is a very simple person for that matter. Very simple. Although, I mean, he's well-to-do for that matter. He is a relative of Ramachandra Datta, another aristocratic disciple of Sri Ramakrishna for that matter. He's a cousin of Ramakrishna Datta. Manomohan's wife is married to Rakhal, who is later going to become Swami Brahmananda, the first president of the Ramakrishna Math and Mission. So you see how providence, brings all these people, closely knit people together, and that's how they flourish in their ultimate goals. So Manomohan, Ramchandra Datta, Rakhal, they are all related. Like Balaram Basu and Premananda, they are related. So it is a close circle that has formed around Sri Ramakrishna. And this is how they recognized the spirituality of Sri Ramakrishna, and they got so much elevation from that becoming his disciples. So Sri Ramakrishna has come, and as he has come to Manomohan's parlour, he said, he starts the topic. It is not a long discussion. It is just spending some time with his dear devotee. God very much relishes the bhakti of the poor and lowly. Now, possibly Sri Ramakrishna is referring to the lowly nature, the humble nature of Manomohan. And then Sri Ramakrishna says, God very much relishes the bhakti of the poor and lowly, just as the cow relishes fodder mixed with the oil cake. Now, what is the real stuff? Is it the fodder the real stuff, or oil cake? Oil cake is just mixed to make it palatable for the cow, and cow relishes it. So also Sri Ramakrishna says there might be rich and people placed in higher positions who are devoted, but the lowly and humble devotees are most liked by the God. God very much relishes the bhakti of the poor and the lowly. And then he gave an example. King Duryodhana showed Krishna the splendor of his wealth and riches. When Krishna had gone to Hastinapur to intervene as a mediator to talk on behalf of Pandavas for their right of kingdom. So Pandavas were sent to exile, and after they came back and all that, now was the time for discussion. That now you give us things our back. So Krishna came as a mediator. So when Krishna came to Hastinapur as a mediator, Duryodhana took him. Now the Kauravas, they had captured the kingdom now. Dhritarashtra was the king. So Sri Krishna came. Now where to stay? Pandavas didn't have anything in the Hastinapur at all. So he had to stay in the Hastinapur at some place where he could stay, negotiate, mediate on behalf of Pandavas, that give some land, give some portion of this kingdom to your poor cousins. So Sri Krishna came to Hastinapur, and Duryodhana, being the eldest son of the king Dhritarashtra, he showed him around his palace, his splendor. Come Krishna, you come and stay with me. You will be so comfortable during your course of stay and all that. So Duryodhana showed Krishna the splendor of his wealth and riches. But Krishna accepted the hospitality of poor Vidura. Vidura, who was a half stepbrother kind of Dhritarashtra. He was a son of a Dasi. He was a Dasi Putra. He was not, both Dhritarashtra and Vidura, they shared the same father but different mothers. And Vidura's mother was Dasi. She was of a servant type. So he never had that higher kind of position in the society. The most brilliant, the most devout soul he was, in fact. Highly intelligent, very well learned, the command over scriptures. So he was a very humble, very poor. I mean, not poor in a sense, literally poor, very humble, in a lowly position. The Dasi Putra, the son of a Dasi, is always at a lower cadre in the society for that matter. But a man of high valor. So, one side, Duryodhana welcoming Sri Krishna, come and stay with me in all this royal splendor. And what Sri Krishna chooses, what Sri Krishna prefers, he prefers the simple stay at Vidura's place. That's what Sri Ramakrishna says. Possibly was he hinting Manomohan to be Vidur, kind of a simple, humble, very a low key person, not at all into any show-offs, not at all boasting about his splendor. Just a simple person. And Sri Ramakrishna says that this is what God relishes. The love, devotion of the lowly, of the poor. But Sri Krishna accepted the hospitality of the poor Vidura. God is fond of his devotees. He runs after the devotee as cow runs after the calf, Sri Ramakrishna says. The God doesn't look after the riches and glories and splendors of the person who is going to entertain him. God looks at the heart of the devotee. How pure it is, how guileless it is, how childlike it is, how simple it is, how humble it is. And seeing that heart of the devotee, God always enjoys the company of those devotees. And then Sri Ramakrishna sang a song. And for that love of the poor, for that love of the lowly, for that love of the devotee, the mighty yogis practice yoga from age to age. That love is not easy to get. The mighty yogis, they do austerities from age to age to get a fraction of that love for God. When love awakes, God, like a magnet, draws to him the soul. And finally, after all these austerities, after all these sadhanas, when that spark of love ignites, that's when the Lord, like a magnet, he pulls that poor soul, that simple soul, that guileless soul, he pulls that soul to him. That is the beauty of the working of the Lord. Then he said, Chaitanya used to shed tears of joy at the very mention of Krishna's name. God alone is the real substance. All else is illusory. Man can realize God if he wants to, but he madly craves the enjoyment of woman and gold. He madly goes after lust and greed. The snake has a precious stone in its head. Now there is a folk concept in Bengal that all these cobras, they have a stone, precious stone, a gem, a nagamani in their head. But these cobras, in spite of having that the treasure with them, they will go and eat frog. Sri Ramakrishna says that, but it is perfectly satisfied to eat a mere frog. The snakes, in spite of having the ownership of that gem, in spite of owning that diamond, in spite of owning that splendor, they won't go for that splendor. They will eat a mere frog. Bhakti is the essential thing. Who can ever know God through reasoning? I want love of God. What do I care about knowing his infinite glories? Sri Ramakrishna says. God may have infinite glories, but I don't want all those. Bhakti, devotion, love, affection, clinging to the feet of the Lord is enough for me, he says. And then he again gives that example. He says, if one bottle of wine gets me one bottle of wine makes me drunk. What do I care knowing how many gallons are there in the grog shop? One bottle is good enough for me. So why should I bother how much is there in the liquor shop? One jar of water is enough to quench my thirst. I don't need to know the amount of water there is on the earth. If one glass of water is quenching my thirst, one jar of water is quenching my thirst, why should I bother to calculate how many liters, how many gallons of water would be there on the earth? None of my business. God is infinite. Let us not get into that calculation at all. We can never get it through reasoning, he says. Only through bhakti. I want just one glass of water, and that is going to quench my thirst. I'm happy with that. So with that teaching, Sri Ramakrishna now ends his stay at Manomohan's place and starts going towards Surendra's house, Suren Mitra's house. So that was our teaching for the day, that God loves simplicity. God loves humbleness. God doesn't love show off. Be humble, be childlike, be devout, and develop that little love rather than developing a bloated arrogance, developing a bloated ego. I am so and so. No, I am a mere child of my mother. I am a simple devotee of my deity. Have that attitude, and like that song, the Lord will pull the soul like a magnet. That is Thakur's teaching at a simple and humble devotee Manomohan's place. Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishnaya. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Thakur, Jai Ma, Jai Swami.